G'day and welcome to Queensland Farmer. Well, today's video is all about managing a risk of fires in the Australian bush. And we've got about 50 acres or so of bush, just like this. There's quite a fire load on the ground, and there's also a number of standing dead trees, just like this one here, which when there is a fire and they fall over, or even if they don't fall over, they continue to burn for quite some time, and they can spread embers long after the firefighters have gone home and can restart or reignite the fire. Now we're on a bit of a hill here, and the fire will travel up these hills pretty quickly. In fact, just a 10-degree slope, the fire will travel at twice the speed. And the slope here is much more than 10 degrees. We've put fire trails in here, around the block, all around the perimeter, just to make sure that if we do have a fire that we can get out to address it with a tanker that we might tow behind the vehicle. Equally, we can get the fire brigade in there. The tracks that we've put in are big enough to allow the trucks that the Rural Fire Service can get through. And this is an example of one that we've done. So the period to burn off within Queensland has almost reached an end, which is a recognition that the weather is going to change. It's already dry, and it's certainly going to get drier and windier, and that's where we have those fire events. So it's not uncommon to have total fire bans, because you could just imagine that if this area goes up, this grass is quite high here, it's quite dry on top, it's still green underneath, no doubt, but the fire would travel up here very quickly indeed, and you wouldn't outrun it on foot, that's for sure. You often hear the fire service describe events like Operation Cool Burn, and it seems an oxymoron to have a cool burn, but what they actually mean is, rather than have an event where everything is so hot and travelling so fast that it burns the trees till there's nothing left, what Operation Cool Burn is about is burning the grass underneath and any of the fuel load that's on the ground at a temperature where it doesn't climb up the trees. It doesn't do what they call crowning, which means they achieve the outcome of removing the fire load without destroying the environment, which obviously is what we're all aiming for. I do a few fire burns, or fire pile burns, throughout the year, certainly throughout that period where we can burn, and the idea is really just to take out any fallen trees that have died or have been knocked over by winds, just to make sure that should there ever be a fire here, that we can manage it as effectively as possible, and we'll make sure that we protect the exposures, all the fences, and we don't let it travel out of our block into the neighbour's block. So if you are living on the land, or considering living on the land, I recommend that you make friends with your local rural fire service, whether it's in Queensland or whatever state you may choose to live in. They'll always happy to obviously have you as a volunteer, but if you don't have the time, or if that's not going to work for you, they're always happy to come out and have a chat, give you some tips on how to manage fire on your property, as well as when you do build fire piles, they'll come out and do a burn off for you. I never ever ask for a donation, but we always give a donation. That helps them meet their running costs, and also a sign of appreciation that you're getting the job done a lot faster when you have a big fire in the right conditions, and you're not there for all day just burning a small pile. While we're just down here, you may recall that 6 months ago we had this work done. Our electricity provider See the grass is establishing through that series of rock contours that they put in, which is exactly what we were chasing. That'll only get stronger over time, even with gully raking type events. Unfortunately, a lot of the grass or the grass seed that I put down didn't actually catch, but it appears that when I put the seed down, the rain stopped. So that's a bit of a shame, but I'll have another go at that sometime in the future. About 12 months ago we had a fire here. This was a controlled burn we did with assistance from the Rural Fire Service. You can see that the land is recovering quite well, given that we haven't had a lot of rain this year. If you like this sort of content, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you've got any comments, I'd love to see those down below. Thanks for watching.